niggas.
All right, what's going on, guys? I wonder if this is gonna get flagged on YouTube. I won't. I'll make it private or not private, but whatever that is, where you need a link. Unlisted. There we go. What's up, guys? Um, yeah, today's gonna be super chill. I think I'm gonna completely clear my charts because where we're at now, where we're headed, you know, we need to re-see what information is in front of us. Cool. So let me just make sure this is recording. Awesome. I'm super stuffy tonight, guys. Like, I think the other night when I started getting a little stuffy, I passed it off as allergies or whatnot, but I think I'm getting the cold. I think I'm getting like some type of death. All right. Cool. Let me see how busy this chart is. Cuz if it's not too bad. Yeah, we can delete everything. That's fine. That is fine. All right. Oh man, that's whack. All right. First and foremost, guys, let me take this indicator off. Um, Let me bring all this shit back just so I can explain this, and then I'll delete it. Come on. There we go. All right. So I put this up because a lot of you guys, um, what this is on the bottom is OI. Let me see if I can find a better one real quick. Boop, 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 boop. No, that one. What the hell? My Binance one ain't working. There we go. All right. So essentially, guys, this is open interest. All right. Open interest is the number of contracts open at any given time in price action. All right. So, um, if you see if you see price going up and contracts opening, there's a good chance that people are buying into that. All right. If you see it going down and contracts are opening, you could assume, hey, that's shorts going into that. All right. So up is up. It doesn't matter if it's sells or buys. If you see the increase of contracts, if you see big fall offs, that usually means that there's a mass amount of contracts closing. So that can be one or two things. That can be either people are getting liquidated or people are, what's it called, taking profit. So short, you're in a big short, everybody's taking profit. So it doesn't necessarily always mean when you see a big drop off in open interest that, oh man, everybody's getting liquidated, shorts are getting wrecked. Nah, man, these guys are just paying themselves. All right, so, but I did want to focus. We did have a very sizable liquidation event or a mass amount of positions closing. All right, and you guys see it. Like once we started pumping, ah, once we started pumping down here, all right, started going up. Started going up, man. All right, so I like OI. OI is a good thing to because it's really the only thing in the market or on these charts that's going to tell you what exactly traders are doing. And are traders opening positions or are they closing positions? And I think it's useful. As of right now, though, it still looks like even this right here, this little one. I don't think that was longs getting stopped. I think that was these guys getting stopped. And you can see, look what happened when we came up here. Tons of positions opened. What does that mean? If we start heading down and you see tons of positions opening, What did I say? That means that shorts are opening. So it makes sense that when we come back to this level, we're getting a dump in OI. Because shorts opened over here. We have the data right here. They're being forced to close here. All right, so it gives you a good idea. I don't use it like Phoenix does. He's a super giga chad. Me, you know, I use it for other things when I'm trading. He does great with the OI divergences with the Leviathan one. I haven't got into the weeds with that too much yet, but you know. All right, so let's go to the Bybit chart that I was talking about. Is it this one? I think it's this one. We'll go to the daily. Oh man. All right, let me just erase all this crap because that's what it is. It's crap. Remove 22 drawings. All right, and turn off candle scalper. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. All right, man. So we had the big breakdown and we had the big pump right back up. So where were we really bouncing from, man? Where was a good sign that hey, we might see a tad bit higher? Um, there was a POC within here getting back above that POC. I think it was at 67K. I think we did retest it. That was a good sign, but dude, we went all the way down to like 60K. So to wait till 70K or 67K, that was kind of, you're not exactly longing the bottom with that. So I'm just gonna pull some volume profiles. So the anchor profile, I'm gonna actually draw the same one, and I will adjust this if I need to. And now I'm gonna move this down because we need to know what's underneath now. All right. Ah, man. Okay. And I'm just gonna pull the same pool from the other side, just so I have double action. Yeah. So okay, there was the other POC down at 63. So if you guys remember, we were talking about how we kind of had two dueling POCs, and low key, I don't know how Bybit's volume was. I haven't. It was up here, but then once we got above and all that, it pulled it down and it's been there pretty much. But they are really close. All right, so one of the big levels that me, Thor, and Phoenix were looking at was we're gonna draw. That's gonna be the first one that we draw. Hold on, and we'll do a horizontal line at 63,031. All right, next one. Now hold on. Let me name this HVN. HVN, and now when I copy it, so for you guys new to TradingView, if you want to copy what you just created, so say I want more lines that look like that. Hold on, let me get rid of this line that doesn't belong. All you're gonna do is just hold Control, and it creates another line. But be careful because if you have a bunch of stuff added on like this, when you go to copy the line, look, I end up with two of these in the line. All right, so these are some areas that I'm keeping an eye on right now. Let me get rid of this and we can kind of go from there. Sorry. And that's why, guys, I said we're just chilling tonight, man. I haven't even been near the computer for the last 2 days. You guys all know I'm a referee for wrestling, and we had a huge tournament the last 2 days, so I haven't even been around. So, all right, and we're gonna call. I like this range. Let's map out this range too. All right, now we're getting back in the zones of mapping out ranges or whatnot. Um, let's see how I want to do this. I guess on the daily we can do it. I'm trying to remember what the range. I know Thor has all this crap on his charts still. So, boom. And then I think it was down here. Yeah, I think that's good enough. All right, and guys, usually when there's a range, and this is super intuitive, like there's no like super special sauce here or anything. But when you have a range, that's usually where your high volume node is going to end up on the macro. All right. So over here, what do I think the range is? We had a few ranges here. We had a few ranges here, but just to be lazy, and if Thor is here, he's probably gonna throw tomatoes at me. But I got this one here too. All right. I'm. I guess I am a fan of this pool of the range. Maybe on a higher time frame, it might work with the volume, but you can see near the top. But the only thing I don't like is that this part of the range down here is a low volume node. So I'm just gonna clean this up here. All right. And you can kind of see that that's where the main action of the range takes place. Yeah, sure, these low areas are great. They give you nice levels, but there's not really much volume down here. There's not much really evidence that, hey, this level's been highly traded before. There's a good chance it's going to be traded again. All right, so just for volume purposes, this is really what I'm going to look at range wise. This range up here and this range down here. All right, so guys, the biggest thing you guys know about me is, and I'm going to get into my little artistic mode again. What do I say typically happens when you have a node and another node and you have an imbalance? This is where you start seeing boom, boom. It's actually more of a triangle. Doom, doom, doom. And then you're either going to pop over the high and then take the lows, or vice versa, take the lows and then pop over the highs. But you get usually some sort of range that exploits both the high volume nodes and uses it. Like you'll come up and you might purge some or whatever, but it's going to stay within those bounds. You're going to get your rejections at the high volume node. You're going to get your reject or your supports at the high volume node. And you could expect to kind of bounce around. And what you're trying to accomplish is, after enough trading and building volume within here, this little humpity dumpity volume profile ends up looking like a distribution curve. All right, and you see this on high time frames, low time frames, where I look for it. Me personally, I look for it first. If we're in a range, I'm going to look for the low volume nodes within that range. So I think, and this is where this might come in handy, having this on the chart. I just need to fix the end. So coming in here, hold on. And this was something that we talked about quite a bit. All right. The biggest thing that I was concerned about was, if we fall underneath this POC, there's a good chance we're going to come in and fill this node, however which way. And, Bob's your uncle. What did we do? We literally just bounced, came down, came back in, and bounced within here. Until, what did we finally get? What was the final product? And you guys can see, look at the volume now. Now, if I stretch this across, look how that volume filled in there. It's not going to be like, yes, we would love it to look perfect like this. Yeah, absolutely. That looks great. But come on, it's not always that perfect. You tend to get the shapes. Not to say that if we do get back into these levels, that these aren't going to be, kind of deciding factors, or, not deciding factors, but they're not going to be relevant if we come back up. They still have area to be improved. There's still a bit of an imbalance, especially up here. Especially up here, there's imbalance. All right. So you see that within the range. But once you break out of that range, now it's time to start looking at this total bit. You're playing within two ranges right now. You're playing within this range down here and this range up here. So based upon this, I mean, and I don't want to. Yeah, sure, we had a $10,000 pump in a day, maybe a dead cat bounce, maybe 71,000 or however high is the highest we go. All right, but thinking about it, guys, we have this whole ass imbalance just chilling there. I don't, me personally, I don't think that gets left unfilled. I don't. Whether it be super quick or maybe, you know what, October, whatever. October is typically, or is what Phoenix has been saying, is typically when we start pumping and stuff like that. That's when the bull market starts back up. Usually, like based upon previous cycles. Maybe that's what we end up doing. I don't know. Maybe we end up, boom, coming in here, kicking everybody's ass, sweeping that, coming back up. Maybe that's where we're headed. All right. I know this looks horrible, but what I'm trying to just kind of stress is, as long as we find acceptance back over 67K, the same way I said, if we lose 62.5 and get a back test, there's a good chance we're going to go lower. Same thing with this. If we can come in and actually maintain, well, I don't know why my lines are in cursive. Boom. Some type of, reaction from that node. Man, next spot I'm looking, 76. After that, 84. After that, 84. You know? But again, you can't have one bias in mind. All right? I have to understand that where we are now, this is pivotal. This matters. All right? And same with this one. And I wouldn't mind taking short scalps if we broke underneath, retested, built some structure within there. Something like this would be nice. Hold on. Something like we come in, let me go on the lower time frames. Come down. I don't know why I can't draw. Maybe I need to zoom in. All right, so we come down. All right, we get a pump. Then we come break over it, break market structure there. I might take a trade on that. Or you could wait for the retest of that and take it on that break. At this would be nice. This would be a nice move for me. I definitely do, because look where the 6 hour imbalance ends. Pretty much right at that node. So like I said, it's pivotal. We can see one or two things happen right now. We can definitely, I know it's kind of shitty to say up or down, but we can either I and this is what I would like to see how it happens. Because you have that extra confirmation with the market structure shift followed by a retest of some type of order block and the high volume node. Bro, that's money. You're just throwing crap ton of confluences together. I think that's great. You know, if you line up, if you do the data and you take the notes on your back testing and stuff and see how many times, if you have that perfect trio of confluences happening, how many times that works in your favor. All right, so the bearish would be coming down, breaking under, possibly building some structure, and down. Something like that. And again, the cherry on top would be, hold on. Sorry. Oh no. All right, the cherry on top would be getting that, say you're building structure, boom, break, retest. I'm taking that. I'd take that for sure. And it wouldn't be a crazy target. I guess since we're on the daily or the 6 hour, it doesn't seem like a crazy target. It's still $5,000, which is a very decent trade, about a 6% move. But I think I'd feel confident in that. I'd feel confident in that. But you just got to be careful, man. You just got to be careful because, guys, the whole way up in between the two imbalances, what do we have? Look at this, man. This is nothing. This is why I'm saying that if we get a pop, 84 can definitely be the next spot I'm looking at. There's not much there. It's all. Let me see if it reflects it on here, dude. What did I say earlier? What did I say earlier about when you see price going a direction and then you see positions opening? That means that there's active people in the market. That's people pushing price down, actively entering the market on the whole way down. All right. So there's a lot to get liquidated right here, man. There's a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So I'd be very mindful. I definitely think some have been liquidated from this pump up. I don't think that this is all shorts getting stopped out. I think that a lot has to do with this level. That level was important. So I'm sure a lot of people from 2 years ago or a year ago finally got stopped out. But I still think there's more juice. I definitely think there's more juice to knock these out. All right, but that's contingent. Like you can't have these biases and sit back and be like it's only going to do one or the other. And it sucks because as people, like, we work for the Discord, we're here, we're trying to help you guys, and I know you guys want what do I do? Long or short? And the thing is, you have two options. And I know that's obvious, long or short, but you have possible scenarios that can happen. I'd be just as quick to take this as I would to take this. But the thing is, what do I need? I need some type of confirmation as we approach this point of interest or this POI, and then I just need to be able to execute. Let me just. You guys can still see and all that, right? All right, perfect. I don't want the stuff like the other night. We good? All right. So I'm keeping an eye out for this up here. All right, and you'd have to be careful because you're entering the nothingness. All right, so you can sweep all of these, stop out a whole bunch of people, and then get a wicked retrace. All right, that could definitely happen. So you have to be careful at these highs. You can have the S&P. There was strong selling pressure, guys. Like that is a very real thing. You saw how much that open interest um, jumped. All right, and at the end of the day, the market makers can only do so much. If you have everybody giga shorting when we come back up to these levels, if you have more people shorting than you do longing, you're just going to get smacked down again. And when people get stopped out, you're going to have new sellers. All right, I'm still seeing tons of stuff on Twitter and all that. Oh, this is just the start, yada yada yada. We're going down to 48K, 30K, 25K. I've noticed people in the server have been getting like that. And that's the worst thing you can do, man. Like if you sit there and just are hard nosed on that one, oh, we're going to this level, and if we don't go to this level, freaking, you know, it's stupid or whatever. But if you're that hard nosed or hard pressed on thinking that way, this is gonna be tough because when you have these type of events, like guys, the market can be irrational way longer than most of us can be solvent. All right, it can do things. Sure, we might end up at 30K, but are you telling me if we start getting acceptance back in here and pump all the way back up to 84, you're not going to get into a trade, or you're going to try to short this whole thing up like a huge dork because, oh, we got to go to 30K? So again, guys, you have to take the information in the areas of interest, and you have to understand like where are we at and what's my entry, what other confluence am I going to top onto this to get me into a trade. All right, let's see where the 618 lines up. I'm interested on that. Here we go. GP. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Is that the 0.5? 0.5's right under or in between the nodes. The node, the 0.5, the GP, they're all about. So the 0.5's in between that node and these two. Yeah, man, I can still see that. And remember, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect like this. Like this, let me double check, make sure I'm not talking hogwash. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect retest back into it. Ah, shit, we actually didn't get a retest. Looking now. Oh, yeah, on the freaking. And even this was ugly. On the 5 minute, there was. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Maybe the 3 minute, you got a better one. 3 minute, no. 1 minute, maybe. It's still ugly. But a lot of times, man, you know, if you have certain criteria and certain rules when you're trading, this could be a good trade. This could be a good trade, you know? But you're not always going to get the to the dollar touches like you want, you know, because a lot of people see the same thing you're seeing. They're putting their stops the same exact place you're putting your stops, you know, and usually price tends to gravitate to where everybody stops are at. I saw a video a long time ago that it's like, oh, you want to start winning and trading? Um, think about your trade, set up a stop, and then use that as your entry and actually enter the trade. So put your entry where you would have put your stop. And I know that's a little exaggerated, but there's merit to it. There's definitely merit to it. You know, it's liquidity, man. The market wants liquidity. It's going to gravitate to areas of liquidity. And this right here, I know it doesn't seem like liquidity, but this is, what is it called? Potential liquidity. All right. And by that, I mean that you still have the potential for everybody that wanted to get into a trade to get into a trade here. Think about it. The amount of volume that we had in this area is pretty much this three tapper, and then we barely dipped into it with this. After that, we sped through that, man. We've sped through that. So I have a feeling that we will gravitate towards this low volume node. I really do, man. And we already have started to. We already have. Like, we're in the low volume node. I don't see a retest though. I don't see a I guess maybe here. No. Like I don't. So a retest could be in order. Or we just keep pumping up. Honestly, we just keep pumping up and we start taking out eyes and we start liquidating all this. This kind of reminds me, and sorry guys, I'm just getting super snotty. This kind of reminds me, but not really reminds me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The way that we fell off. Let me see if I can find it on the daily. Ah, I hate when I leave the pen on. Kind of reminds me of this. You have that same little elephant trunk thing, and then it just shot off and took all that crap out. Not saying that we're in this part of the stage that we're starting the bull run now, no, or the second phase, because I agree with Phoenix that we've gone through our two phases already. I do. I definitely think we're on this part. You know, I definitely think we're on this part. But this type of price action right here makes me think, and especially since we're right under the node, that that could be our catalyst to pump us further within this node. You know, I don't think 83 is out of the question. I don't think 87 is out of the question. 87 is this node right here. Or no, this is 90. There was something at 87. I remember I was looking at those two nodes. Maybe I'm just freaking tired. I don't know. Did we have at something at 87? Yeah, this right here, 87 360. And that was the POC of that previous range. I don't think those are out of the question. I really don't, especially since we never backtested that POC after we left. All right. But again, guys, there's some obstacles we got to get over. Let's look at this lower time frame and we can pull a fixed range over the lower time frame stuff and see. I hate being picky like this. I really do. I really do, man. I hate not picky, but what is it called? Like confirmation bias. Yeah, I'm cherry picking. There we go. Cherry picking. That's the word. Let's see what we got. But you see what I mean? It's like that elephant trunk liquidity curve. And guys, we've seen this whole way down that don't mean crap. We don't have to purge out any of this. We don't at all. All right? We could leave this as is and go all the way down to zero. All right? But you got to understand, it won't take a lot to start pushing price higher if we start getting above these levels. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So, and look what we have right at that area. That right into that HVN. All right. So how would I approach this? Looking at this information, I'm looking at a loss of this and a retest. And then I could say, hey, okay, we're either going down to the HVN or lower. But right now we have volume here. How much volume was caused by this range though versus yeesh, a lot of volumes in here. Still, from the original thing, we do have a little ledge right around 69.8. So we should see pretty soon if that level's going to hold. If not, I see us coming back down to 67. Why not? I do. It's the weekend too, guys. It's the weekend also. They could push price wherever they want. All right. So, just trade responsibly, man. But in here, it looks like crap. This looks like doo doo caca. Like, and oh man, I wish Phoenix was here so we could kind of show him the difference of what I was talking about. This low versus what low was it? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't that low. I guess it was in here. Yeah, this low right here. All right, so this low, I want you guys to keep an eye. Remember what color this is. Let me get rid of this. I don't want to confuse anybody. Versus this low. Ugh, gotta zoom in a little bit. Gotta zoom in. All right. And I know it's very subtle. All right. You're going to be like, wait, but Spartan, there's still a bunch of red down there. But look at the lows. Look at the lows. Look at them. Look at them. There's no shorts down there. That was all just limit buys. No shorts down there. All right. So what that means is that there's a good chance that all of these buyers are going to get stopped out. What you typically want to see, what you typically want to see is what I showed you here. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see if I can pull it up. Pull it up, pull it up. Doom, doom, doom. You want to see dumb shorting into the lows because that just adds fuel to go higher. All right, just kind of think about it. I know it's not perfect. The 100Xers were wrecked here. The 100X shorters from that low were wrecked right here. It's nothing. The 50Xers right there. All right, do you get where I'm going with this? All right, the 25xers. So anybody who 25x'd that short got wrecked. You guys get it? So what I'm trying to say is that that's rocket fuel to push us higher. When you see a lot of people shorting into here, but yet we get a strong reaction, that's oh shit, these guys are about to get wrecked. All right, the same thing when you see a shit ton of positions opening at the lows and prices only pushing down. If you get a bounce, there's a very good chance that increase in OI that you saw was driven by shorts. So if you get a bounce, that means those shorts are going to be underwater. Either two things are happening: they're going to get stopped out, or they're going to get liquidated. Or there's a third thing: they're going to get scared crapless and close their positions. And in order to close a short position, you have to buy a long position. That causes the buying pressure to push the price up higher. That's why you see those cascade events where one low gets taken in the next and the next and the next, because there's so many longs in there. Excuse me. There's so many longs in there. When those all those guys get stopped out, that's just adding to the selling pressure. You hit the next low, boom, take out all those guys. You see another push because you're seeing again an influx of longs getting stopped out, which are sell positions. So that's why it's good to see at the lows a bunch of red down there, because that means that they tried. So many people got into positions down here. Not so many, but people got into positions down here. But there were shorts. So now there's good incentive for us to go higher to start taking all of their stops. All right. So you have to just be conscious of that. That's why I like the Delta profile. There's certain things that you can see. Does that make or break my trade? No. Because even with say this was black down here. If that's black down there, but we get above this and retest it, I'm still taking a trade in here. Regardless if this is red or black. Regardless. Because this thing could bounce, hit the node, reject, come back down. Why would I miss this trade? If it's giving me my confirmations on this retest, why would I miss the trade to go up? And that's what we try to tell you guys with the equal lows, the poor lows, those other liquidity levels, quote unquote, that the delta ugly lows, that you know what, yeah, sure, those need to get taken. Same with liquidity curves. They're gonna get taken, but when they're gonna get taken, we don't really know. So why not take all the trades that you can within that time? Like, this is a good trade opportunity. I'm not gonna let one thing completely X out freaking my three confirmations. I'm not going to let that happen. It's a high volume node. We're getting hopefully some type of accumulation in here. That's a good trade, man. Hold on. So, like it's good food for thought. It's definitely good food for thought. Now, say this is black down here. All right? Say this is black down here and we get a we break underneath like we did, but instead we back test it. Now I feel good about a short there, because that confluence of having those longs that opened up at the low, not here. If it was black, let me color this in. Pretend this is black down here. All right. If those, now I'm like, all right, my target's going to be this low. My target's going to be that low because there are people that long the bottom thinking that they caught the bottom and nobody was really shorting down here. Most shorts probably just took profit. All right. That could be another reason why that color's there. Maybe the shorts have just taken profit. Again, in order to take profit, what do you have to do for a short? You have to buy. In order to take profit for a long, what do you have to do? You have to sell. So there's a good chance you're going to head back down to that low. So That's why I like delta profiles. I use it in conjunction with a lot of other confluences. The amount of confluence I have or I don't have um, really determine whether or not I'm going to take the trade. You know, and don't get me wrong. There's sometimes where I'll raw dog it straight into a trade with freaking one confluence. All right, but I understand that I'm not putting my full position size. I am definitely going to keep my stop as close as possible. You know, just try to avoid. It's a riskier trade. All right, but yeah, man. Uh, that's really about it, man. Let's be honest. Again, we have volume where we're at now. Let me draw a little box over it. We have volume within this area. We lose this area and get some type of retest. Say we come down and then get a retest. I think about taking a trade. I'd take that POC retop. I would. Riskier though. Riskier. There is a lot of buying pressure, man. There's a lot of buying pressure, but nah, you know what? On the weekend, I don't know if I would take that trade. It's a setup though. It's definitely a setup. It's a riskier trade. If you want to work the scalps, you can, but let me see. And that's the thing I go through, guys, a lot is that, you know, I'll look at the trades and if they don't feel right or if it's not the right time, I'm getting better at not entering the trades. I'm getting better at not entering them. So, you know, that's a good thing. Like, cause usually your gut intuition leads you like leads you in the right direction, man. There's so many times where it's like, oh yeah, I have all my confidence, but it just doesn't feel right. There's something off. The way that price is moving, or where volume's coming in, or something. And I'm like, no, but I have all my confirmations. I have my all my different checks. You know, my confluences. I'm gonna take the trade, and then I get like insta stopped, and it's just like, damn, if I would have just like listened to my gut, I'd be fine. And you can see right now, guys, at the POC of this level, we're finding some type of resistance, but I want to see a break of the node. I want to see a break of the node, man. I want to see us dip into this POC. I personally would like to see us dip into this, to the low volume node. That would be cool. You dip into that. Okay, everyone thinks we're going higher. Then we get smacked down. This, we didn't break any structure. There's nothing that broke within here for me to get excited. Right now we have up, down, up. We haven't broken anything. We haven't broken any lows. I bet a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, we broke an internal low." No, like give me more. I want more juice. I want more juice, man. All right. And same thing if we break higher. If we break higher, why not take this advantage? Say we don't get this. Say we don't get that tap. All right. We break higher. If we come up, boom. Same deal. If we come in here and retest this, like there's a good chance, yeah, we might get a rejection right at the middle of it. But look for the support at the POC, and that could be your ticket to get into the trade. All right. You just have to you have to be careful because this move here is an SFP of that, and if we start heading down, you know we could see excess selling pressure. I would look for a clear change of structure when you approach that POC. If you notice that we break under it and back test it, run, man, run. Don't try to enter a trade, you know. And if you miss it, you miss it. But those are warning shots fired, you know. So, but other than that, man, let's see. Let's see what else we got. Anything else? No. This looks so ugly. This looks so ugly. But I think, especially on the higher time frames, man. Let me see if I can do it like this. I think this area has a very good shot at getting filled. I really do. here. It's there. This could be our home for the next 6 months. Let's POC to POC. Boom. Boom to boom. All right. Um, that could be our home for the next couple months, man. Draw it again so you guys can see on a clean chart. So that was here. All I'm doing is from the this, and I know it's not the POC of the range, but I'm gonna call it this high volume node to this high volume node, and that's gonna be here. Boom to there. I think this is our home for the next couple months. If you want to get crazy with it, you can do POC to POC. But, you know, I don't think we play in these upper parts as much as we're going to consolidate within here, you know? And then you can shrink it down a little bit. Let's go where to the node ends here. Let's go where the node ends here. You know, but yeah, find acceptance back into here. Find acceptance back into here, man. There's a good chance we're going up to 84. Very good chance. 83, 84, 84 2. Very good chance. So understand we're in an area of low liquidity, or not low liquidity, low volume. All right, we're in an area of low volume, so you can get good pushes and good rejections from this area because a lot of fresh positions in this area. All right, you're gonna see a lot of sell pressure with all the people that want to continue pushing price down. All right, and you're gonna see a lot of buy pressure too from people thinking that this is the low. Is it the low? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. This is it's business as usual when it comes to Bitcoin. Like I this whole process down, I'm not freaking out. I'm not freaking out. Maybe we got to go lower for me to start getting a little bit more emotional. But right now, it seems like it's business as usual. The last time I was like, oh no, we're dropping. Oh no, we dropped more. Ah, everything's over. We dropped some more. You know what I mean? This one, I'm just kind of like, oh, Bitcoin's dumping? Cool. Okay. Like, oh, we took another low? Okay. Like, and I don't know, man. Hopefully you guys kind of feel that too. Because it kind of leaves you on a spot of not being emotional when you trade, and I think that's a good thing. I think emotions are good; they serve a purpose. You know what I mean? But too much emotions, man, it's gonna screw you up. It's gonna screw you up, man, especially trading, because this market will tug at your emotions, make you think you are the goat, and then all of a sudden just break your heart. You know, we've all been there for the most part. I don't know. If you haven't been there, good on you. I'm kind of jealous, but I've definitely been there, man. And it's like, damn. But it is what it is. Sorry, I'm here trying to blow my nose. Ugh. Let me see if there's anything in here. Oh, yo, what's up, Phoenix? Get your bitch ass up here. Even just to shoot the shit, I don't care. No, get your ass up here. No. There we go. See, Phoenix is gonna come up. Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. Yeah, Bro, hold on. Hold on. No! Yeah, man. Hey, honestly, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, okay, whatever, Phoenix. I appreciate all y'all being here. Guys, we've all been here, bro. We've all been, you know, kind of needing a little bit of knowledge. And if I can help with one concept, because guys, I'm a firm believer that everybody has something to offer. All right. I can learn. I truly believe, and it's not just in trading, man. It's really everything I do, that somebody can give me some insight that makes me learn something. They can teach me something. And even if they're telling me the most BS stuff, I can end up learning something else in the process of listening to them. And worst comes to worst, if they're completely wrong, guess what? I just learned that's not the way to do it. So I definitely believe that everyone has something to offer. If I can help you guys to understand one little thing, that's awesome. And if you can add it to your repertoire and make it your own and start becoming a bajillionaire like White Phoenix and all the other bajillionaires in the chat, um, then yeah, then awesome. I did my job and I'm happy about that. So if everybody that stuck out here, I'm glad. I'm glad you did. Because to be honest, guys, that's how I've learned everything. I've had some really good friends. I've had some really good friends in this community, that have helped me out and have taught me things and have spent time to explain things to me and have made things click. And not to say I use everything, but there's certain things like you hear that all the time. Oh, that's that, or that's that. Do I use it? No, but I can identify it. I can be like, okay, that's a valid way of doing it. And then if I see somebody actually using that stuff and hitting and doing good with it, I'll be like, all right, what are you doing with that I didn't do in order to get those results? So, you know, yeah. No, White Phoenix ain't joining, man. He's being a come on, man, get up here. Invite to speak. Invite to speak. Invite to speak. Come on, man. No, you're not. No, you're not. Get up here. Does it keep dinging you every time I do that, or is it like completely useless? Why would we see your butt? When do you ever show your camera? Yeah, okay. Cool. Then I'll just keep doing it. Hold on. I have to use the big guns.
Spartan Wrestler 119 said, "Get up here, you big baby."
Come on, man. All right. But other than that, man, if Phoenix ain't gonna get up here, I think I'm done for the night. I've been on what, about an hour, so I was hoping he'd come in. He's the one who gave me the idea to hop on, but whatever. I'll put this up as soon as possible, guys. If you can, if you want, look at it, please. Um, let me know. Give me feedback. If there's anything you guys want to talk about in the future, we can. I'll hop into the VC Lounge next time I'm doing this by myself, and then we can all get involved. The thing that sucks is usually when we do that, nobody talks. You guys are all shy and stuff, so it's literally just the same as me being in the stage. But if you guys are interested, let me know. All right. All right, man. You guys have a great one. God bless. And be good, man. Freaking have a great weekend. If you've been getting wrecked this whole week, man, step away. Enjoy the weekend. Touch some grass. All right.